Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? It's your boy, Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. What's going on with you, buddy?
Shit, can't call it, man. Another day of potting, man. So that's always a good day. We'll, day late, but as long as the content get out there in the world, we all good, man. But how you feeling? Everything good with you?
I feel bamboozled.
Damn, not bamboozled.
Bamboozled. Ran them up. It's a whole sham mockery going out of here. Let me tell you something. My whole life, they've been lying to us and telling us that Jackie O was one of the most beautiful first ladies in the world. Oh, Jackie O, Jackie O, Jackie O. She was a lady of class and such beauty and elegance and grace. Have you ever seen what she looks like?
Well, of course I seen what she looked like.
Man, no, bro. They had her on the same level as Michelle Obama, bro.
Well, you know why?
Because she white. I know that. I'm just saying,
no.
Bro. What?
No. So what I was gonna say, because I seen your post.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna type something about. I was like, nah. I think what it is, who the two youngest presidents were.
Yeah, Kennedy and Obama.
Exactly. They're the two youngest ones, man. All the rest of these hoes are old.
The Kennedy wife don't look nothing like Obama wife. Nowhere near.
But no, bro, Jackie
Kennedy is like a solid 3. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know what to think anymore, man. From now on, bro, like America is just, I don't know what it is about. It feel like ever since 2020, all the truth just been falling and spilling out. They can't hold secrets no more, man.
Man, I think now. I don't know how they're doing their judging skills. I don't know if they're rating the first ladies and all this type of shit like that. But it's considering of the ones that I know, I only know Eleanor Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying? Jackie,
Mary Tyler Lincoln.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of her. And I seen pictures of obviously Clinton. Barbara Bush, you know what I'm saying, the other Bush. So I've seen some, but it's Reagan's wife, you know what I'm saying? She tried to tell us don't do drugs and shit. Nancy, yeah. So it's
fancy,
you're looking at
fancy Nancy the throat queen.
Hey, it came out, didn't it?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey. I'm not gonna deny or confirm, but all I'm gonna say is everybody know what the Reagans was doing before he started running for office and shit.
Now listen, let me tell you something. I know it's true because this is the second time that this came out. That story had already come out before.
Hey man, they were doing a lot of freaky deaky shit to get the role, man.
Hey man, I ain't mad at her.
Hey, you remember? Let me see. This was the third screen when they finally went back on Sidney Prescott's mom and shit, and they were saying what she used to do back in the day to get those roles, man. Hey, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can't deny or confirm.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yes, hey, you got to. So I feel you. I never even really thought of it like that, man. I never even looked at Jackie in that way. I guess because all the time, but most of the time I've always seen Jackie, it was her crying and shit from me watching the documentaries of the assassinations and shit.
Listen, this is the first year I've ever seen a picture of that woman. I've taken America on their word this whole time. I've never looked her up. Cause anytime they would show pictures of her, on documentaries or whatever, it would always be side profiles. So you don't really get to see her full face. So now I've seen her. Oh man, I'm talking about grill trash, this whole face structure trash, bro.
Yo, yeah. I was always under the belief of I never thought Marilyn Monroe was as hard as people made her out to be. I was like,
hey, let me tell you something.
she
Compared to
cool.
Jackie, yes, she is.
Well, I mean, to Jackie, but I mean, like, just
Marilyn
the way
Monroe.
that
Nah, Marilyn Monroe is cold though.
man, she lukewarm.
I mean, I don't really look at like women no way. I'm just saying. Like, if I seen her walking down the street, I'd be like, she all right.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't really my speed. So to me, it really don't matter. I just know Jackie Kennedy is not what they've been telling me she is.
Hey man, that's funny. That's
Yeah,
so funny
man.
that you even on that kid because so you know what? Fuck it. Well, I do it in what we watch.
Okay. So let's get to it then, man. For everybody that don't know, if you're just now listening to this podcast, or I'm sorry, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, we do a segment called What We Watching. It basically gives you something extra to check out every week. You know what I'm saying? Besides the two movies or television shows that we review each episode. So let's get into it.
What we watch?
Let's get into it, bro. What you got?
All right, so I'll go with that one first since we were just talking about the Kennedys and everything. So I got two this week. So the one thing I was watching, I will start with. I listen to Joe Rogan, but it really always depends on the guest. He's brought Oliver Stone back. He's had him on before, and he brought him back because Oliver Stone has released a documentary called JFK Revisited. I think it was through the glass something or something. But anyway, so I started watching it, and it's supposed to be a part 2. He said it's going to come out in February, but I'm so interested in the Kennedys and really it's mostly around like the assassination and shit and like all the conspiracy theories and everything that's around it. So I ended up doing a pod on it, put it out. Actually put it out today. I called the JFK Revisited, but like that whole thing of the conspiracies that goes around the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, and the government, and everything that's surrounded around John F. Kennedy is completely nuts, man. It gives you a lot of information on the things that was covered up. It gives you a lot of information on the what do you call it stuff, the autopsy, all of this shit. Like they literally changed where he got shot on the autopsy because they came out with the theory that Lee Harvey Oswald got 3 shots off. But Kennedy was hit in the back, in the throat, and in the neck. But then the other dude in front of him got hit, and there was another bullet that grazed the ground and then hit a pedestrian that was at the parade. So there is a whole bunch of stuff that was given out in that documentary. So that's why I had to do a podcast on it. And just something else to intrigue the people, to try to get y'all to go check out this podcast that I just put out was, did you know the first Black Secret Service agent was hired by John F. Kennedy? His name was Abraham Bowden. And let me tell you what Abraham Bowden had to go through. It's like that, like when you the first at something, a lot of the times you got to be the one to be the sacrificial lamb and shit. So obviously, all the other Secret Service agents are white, so they don't really fuck with this dude. But he ended up being JFK's right hand man because he ended up being the only person that he could trust. So when the assassination went down, Bowden spoke up about, yo, there's some precautions that wasn't taken. You know what I'm saying? Like the jobs weren't fulfilled the way they were supposed to be fulfilled. So basically, he stepped up and spoke out. So let me tell you the thanks he got. Got accused of accepting bribes and got sentenced to 6 years.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all go check out that and go check out my 28 Minutes or Less podcast that I just put out, episode 68. But the other thing that I watched, that I've been watching, is I started Homeland. I ended up starting. I remember telling you about it. I got to episode 8. I got to episode 8 on the first season, but I I think it's 6 or 7, 8 seasons, something like that. So I still got a while to go. Very, very interesting, entertaining type stuff, man. You know, it's around like the spy, CIA. Supposedly there is a American troop that came home that was turned by, you know what I'm saying, by these other I think it was in Afghanistan. So anyway, so they think that this dude flipped and she is doing everything she can to try to prove this theory that she got in her head. So it's turned out to be a pretty good show, man. So I ain't mad at it, man. So JFK Revisited. It's on Showtime, and I started watching Homeland, which is on Showtime as well.
Cool, man. Cool. So for me, I only got one. I ended up watching this I ended up rewatching Black Mirror, and in the midst of rewatching Black Mirror, I brought it up to my little cousin, and he said, "Man, you should check out this show on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots." So I was like, "Okay, let me check it out." You know what I'm saying? See what he's talking about. He like it's kind of like Black Mirror. He was like, "But it's all animation." So I began watching this past weekend. It was amazing. It was amazing. They have various animation styles from like 3D to anime to, you know what I'm saying, like classic, you know what I'm saying, cartoonish, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, like animation. And I mean, like it's just different. It's multiple animation styles. It got like even the hyper realistic animation style that they use for like the Final Fantasy movies where it looked like the real people.
Yeah.
So they even use that. Like it looked a lot like CGI, but it's kind of something different. But they got all those kind of different animation styles. But what I found out in doing a little bit of research behind it all is that it's connected to the creators of heavy metal. So I'm not sure if you ever seen the heavy metal movies, but Heavy Metal and Heavy Metal 2000 were movies that came out like, I forgot when Heavy Metal came out, but I know, of course, Heavy Metal 2000 came out in 2000. But it was like a real different, you know what I'm saying, story, because it was like Heavy Metal is like it's like a group of stories all put together in one big story. And then Heavy Metal is more so like a one straight storyline, but it branches off into different things as well. But Love, Death, and Robots is basically like a carry on from that. It's about like a dystopian future with different things that's going on, different stories being told. No episode is connected to the other. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like none of them are the same. It's all different ones. So I mean, it's very interesting to see, you know what I'm saying, like some of the creation and ideas behind some of these guys' minds. And it was very interesting, man. But it's on Netflix. Check it out. It's called Love, Death, and Robots. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
What's up, man? Look, I am hoping that this is a big Netflix year. They can't disappoint this year because of the thing that I've been mentioning when it comes to HBO Max not putting out the new movies anymore. Like, so they started out the year pretty good.
Yeah.
With some things that I've already started, which I won't really mention at this time, but there's some new stuff. But I mean, like, you know, you got Ozark coming back. You're not a huge Ozark fan, but I've been waiting on that shit for 2 years. So yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a big Netflix year. But last year wasn't too savvy either, because when we did our top 10, we ended up mentioning a lot of Netflix movies. So
yeah, man, they got some stuff coming up too, man. And the only thing I really like about Netflix, I'm sorry, I don't want to say the only thing, but one of the things I do really like about Netflix is that they have this they have the tab where you can see like upcoming, you know what I'm saying, projects that they got. I think it's for the first or that quarter that they in. So like it might be from like up until March or some shit like that. You can, you know what I'm saying, you can check out what's coming out. So I'm excited to see what they got. You know what I'm saying? I haven't checked it out yet, but I think Netflix is going to lead the charge this year, especially with HBO and you know what I'm saying, like Disney and all those other streaming services losing their edge with the, you know what I'm saying, with the same day as theater release. I think like once a lot of those guys lose that, then Netflix is going to get back up there to that number one spot.
Yep. I am in total agreement with you.
Mm-hmm. So today, man, listen, we got we got a fire episode for y'all, man. This is one of the Netflix movies. Speaking of Netflix, that we talked about doing. It was an exciting movie. Excuse me. It was a very exciting movie. It shocked me that it was so good because of who they had in the cast. It's starring Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot. It's Netflix's. I'm about to say the movie and Netflix at the same time. Netflix's Red Notice came out last year. Surprised the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have faith in Ryan Reynolds, and anytime The Rock is like playing that like hard ass straight guy, you know what I'm saying, like with any kind of like comedic actor whatsoever, he'll do good. My issue was Gal Gadot. Like I wanted to see what her role in it was because I don't know, man. She just don't seem like a great actress to me, or actor, whatever you want to put it. She just don't seem like, you know what I'm saying, like one of those shoe-ins for me. So like seeing her in this role, I think she did a pretty good job. They didn't really give her too much screen time. They gave her just enough so she can do what she got to do and like get up out of there. They ain't have to linger on it or nothing, which I thought was a smart idea. That way, you know what I'm saying, she don't really like burn up too much, you know what I'm saying, air trying to do something that she wasn't really capable of doing. I think The Rock, you know what I'm saying, anytime they throw him in one of those big bodyguard roles where he, you know what I'm saying, punching shit and blowing stuff up, that's all. You know what I'm saying? He been doing that his whole career, so that's nothing new to him. And then Ryan Reynolds, I mean, dude is just skilled. What can I say? You know, he gonna do whatever he got to do. So like I said, the cast, they did a pretty good job, man. The story actually wasn't that bad. The story was actually very it was very captivating for me. It kept me really into it, especially the fact that we didn't really know what was going on until the end. Like that twist that they threw in at the end, which to me was genius. I thought that was good, but outside of that, I don't know, man. I really didn't have no beef with this movie. What did you think about it?
I wouldn't call it a beef, but you hit the nail on the head. I don't like doing this, but sometimes some things just need to be said because it's something that they do on the rewatchables, and they be like, you know, recasting. I think Gal Gadot could have been. I think somebody else could have.
100%.
You know what I mean,
I think
somebody else could have killed it.
Yeah, any woman that we would consider a looker could have played that part.
Yeah, I think
besides the fighting part.
That's why that narrows it down. Yeah. I think somebody like Jennifer Garner. Nah. I think she could have did that.
Nah, she ain't bad enough to play that role.
I see what you're saying, like the part in the red dress and the dancing scenes and all that type shit. But I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know who I think would have really did great in this role? Who? Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, but I think that would have been. Yeah.
She would have gave it a nice little flavor to it.
She would have. She
could wear the red dress. You know what I'm saying? She looks amazing. She could dance and she could do the fighting scenes. And she got a little bit of better acting than Gal Gadot.
Yeah, and then I just feel like she just got so much going on right now. And then plus, I don't know how the deal is going as far as Netflix, because she now put out, I think, 2 Netflix movies. But Jessica Chastain, I think she could have did a good job.
I say Jennifer Lawrence, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. She ain't done Hunger Games in a minute. I don't know how
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how she was in the fight scene. I mean, she could have got off the dancing and everything, because I think, you know what I'm saying, like they would have did something where she would have been able to do. And then like you got to remember too, like she's a little bit younger, so it's a little bit easier for her to get into the groove like that. But she ain't bad looking. I know she could do fighting because she was in X-Men, you know what I'm saying, Hunger Games. Yeah. She done did her, you know what I'm saying, she done did great fight scenes. Like, I mean, she definitely could have got in there and did her thing.
And the only other person that I can think of off head is what's her name? I just had it. Now I forgot what it was.
Jessica Alba.
So no, Jessica Biel. Thank you.
Jessica Alba, man, I'm telling you, she could dance. She looked good. She could fight.
Yeah. I haven't seen her in a movie in a while. Like she's been on TV. She's been doing TV, but I haven't seen her in a movie in a while. But like, yeah, I think like Gal Gadot, I like her, but it's like I don't know, man. It's just something about her. I just think that I don't think her acting is to the par of her co-mates. Like I don't think she acts as well as Ryan Reynolds, and surprisingly, you know what I'm saying, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, like it. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, bro. Just the fact that we talk about The Rock being an actor is hilarious to me.
Listen, dude. Okay, let me ask you: is he getting to the point where now it's kind of hard because he kind of flirted with it like last year and the year before and shit like that? Like he be coming back for like WrestleMania and shit. But like, is he getting to the point where it's like we don't think of like WWE when we see him anymore?
I think it depends on your age.
Because
my kids, until they start watching wrestling, they never knew that he was The Rock. They didn't understand why he was called The Rock. So when they finally start watching wrestling and they realize like, oh, he used to be a wrestler, then you know what I'm saying? Like they start watching all his movies because he was a wrestler. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of my kids' favorite wrestlers is The Rock. So like he watch anything The Rock is in. It don't matter what it is, he'll watch it.
Yeah, because
he watched Gridiron Gang.
Hey, Gridiron Gang pretty good, man. I couldn't nobody say.
Nah, bro.
It's just crazy that he was playing a white man, but in the movie he had a black mama. So it was just
my thing is why was they letting kids in juvenile prison play football?
Man, listen.
And what did they think was going to come of that?
Hey, those kids need activities too, man. Teamwork, man. That's where they learn teamwork.
They never seen the longest yard, bro.
Oh man. So what made me think of that, man, was I was looking at a commercial and they were showing NCIS Los Angeles, and it's just like, yo, you look at LL Cool J, man, you don't even think of him as a rapper no more.
Ever, bro. You don't even think of him. You wouldn't even know he would rap.
Exactly.
Same with Ice-T.
Yeah, it's like that's why I said, do you think he's getting to that point? But see, he still flirt with wrestling a little bit, so that's why I don't think he's there yet. Because for the simple fact of him coming back and messing around with it and stuff like that. But anyway, I felt that the movie was really good. I really liked the script. I really liked how they added the whole Hitler thing to it in World War II. How Ryan Reynolds' dad ended up being, semi really involved in what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And like this private bunker that was hidden in Argentina. So it's just like, yo, like I think that they put some real thought into the script, man. And
they definitely did.
I'm not mad at it, man. And I like anytime you let somebody like Ryan Reynolds, you know what I'm saying, get his shit off. Because he's one of those dudes where it's just like, all right, man, this is, you know what I'm saying, around what we want you to talk about, but just do your shit. Because you can't write Ryan Reynolds. You can't. Like he's just one of those dudes.
You got to do it very loosely. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You got to write a skeleton of it and let him just fill everything else in.
Yeah, and then just the way that he just do certain shit. Like that shit be so fucking funny, dude. Like, hey, but that motherfucker said, I got 2 questions. He said, first question, he said, where did you get that jacket? He said, I know. He said, I know there's a cow somewhere saying,
that motherfucker goofy, man.
He goofy, and then he said something about, hey, do you got a bag somewhere tucked in that turtleneck? Hey, this dude is wild, man. This dude is wild. But a synopsis is basically Nolan Booth is quote unquote either the first or second best art robber that there is in the world, and John Hartley is playing a FBI agent, which he's always a fucking FBI agent, The Rock. But he is trying to take him down, but then you got the bishop who's supposed to be the best robber that there is, and the whole thing is they want these 3 eggs because there's this billionaire, gazillionaire guy wants to get all 3 of these eggs together to give them to his daughter, which he named Cleopatra, and the eggs were the ancient Cleopatra's eggs that was split up and all this type shit. And the whole thing was for them to steal these eggs and give them to this guy so they can get money, all this type shit. So there's a whole bunch of other shit that's going on within between that. But so what are your thoughts? Because I like this whole thing that we've been doing lately. I feel like it's been flowing better. It's been really dope. So what are your thoughts on John Hartley?
I like I said, it's kind of easy to like the character because this is what he's always done. Like this is him. Like John Hartley is basically a cookie cutter version of whoever dude was in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah, pretty much so. Like that's pretty much all he is. He's just a more smoother, refined version of Hobbs from Fast and Furious. I thought it was interesting to see him and Ryan Reynolds actually, you know what I'm saying, like co-act, you know what I'm saying, in the same movie. To me, I feel like that same chemistry that The Rock has with Kevin Hart, he kind of brought out with Ryan Reynolds in this one. But not in like the PC way that, you know what I'm saying, like him and Kevin Hart do.
Yeah.
This one was a little more looser. You know what I'm saying? They was able to make some real adult jokes. I mean, and on top of that, this was an adult movie too. Like you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to not say too many cuss words, anything like that. This was one of the ones where they could really kind of just, you know what I'm saying, let their chops loose. I really don't have too much to say on The Rock's character, man. I thought that he served his purpose. You know what I'm saying? The big bulky guy who's going around blowing shit up like he always does. I don't really see anybody else playing that role, maybe besides like Batista. But like outside of that, or not to debate, maybe like John Cena. John Cena could kind of do that too. But like
John Cena is becoming he's becoming The Rock.
He's becoming the White Rock.
Yeah, because now he's in Fast and Furious, and The Rock ain't doing the Fast and Furious no more.
That's what I'm saying. He is becoming the White Rock.
Yeah, like that's basically what it is. Like, and you look, man, you hit the nail on the head. Like this is not Shaw, but this is Hobbs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's the FBI guy trying to take down Dom. End up being fond of him. Now he's working with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but the only twist on this one is he's playing an FBI agent, but he's actually not an FBI agent. But he's also taking down. Well, they needed Booth to show them what a third egg was, so they can give it to the person. So he's actually a bad guy, which is funny. When in that scene where I was talking about earlier, where he said that, yo, like, where did you get that jacket? There's a cow somewhere saying worth it. Mm-hmm. He had said, how do I know that you're not a bad guy and I'm a bad guy? And he was like, you know, he didn't answer the question. You know what I'm saying? Because it was kind of like, yeah, I am one of the bad guys, but I'm pretending to be a good guy. That like I'm coming to arrest you. So I thought that was dope, but like, even when you think about Booth's character, which I thought was dope, was they brought the whole thing in about his dad and his upbringing, because he says, because Hartley was like, yo, I got a profile on you. And he started naming, like, you probably started stealing when you was around 6, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. You know, you was trying to get your dad's attention and all of this type stuff. And he ended up being completely right about the whole thing. And the one thing that made Booth really cross that line was the whole fact of his dad was obsessed with this watch. But then I think that when we got to the end of the movie, we realized why his dad was so fond of that watch.
Mm-hmm.
Was because that watch wasn't just a watch. Like this watch opened up one of the most
key.
Yeah, like it was a key that unleashed like one of the biggest secrets, you know what I'm saying, being held. And it never explained if his dad was working for the government or anything. At least I don't remember.
He was like an archaeologist or some shit like that.
So it's like, how do an archaeologist get in touch with this guy that was Hitler's right-hand man when Hitler took all of his shit out of Germany and sent it to Argentina? It was like, how did his dad end up getting in these circles?
How would you make a cover up to build an underground bunker?
So you think that his dad
you make that archaeological site basically the bunker. You take the site where however long you're gonna be digging and doing all that. You know what I'm saying? You tell them that this is where we digging for whatever they digging for, and don't tell them what they're looking for. They build the bunker, cover it up, voila. That's the easiest way to build a bunker like that. Archaeological dig.
I feel you. But what was also hilarious when because the way that they got into the bunker, they was like, once they opened up the door, he was like, "Yo, how did?" And when they saw that Mercedes, that I think it was a 1931 Mercedes or whatever, he was like, he was like, "Yo, how did they get it down here?" He was like, "Man, we were struggling to get down those steps." Like he just says like some of the like shit that's like, and I know like this part right here, like if John Hartley didn't explain it, you would have been like, "Yo, like what the fuck?" Because you know this shit like this, like they hit the lights and the light came on. And Booth was like, "Yo, who's been paying the electric bill?" I was like,
well, so just a little quick thing, you know, this is like my zone right here. So like in at the end of World War II, you know, like a lot of the like generals and captains and like top brass that was in Nazi Germany, they ended up leaving and coming to South America. Two places they went. That they were two places that they went mostly was Argentina and Chile. Brazil got a lot of them too, but the two main places were Chile and Argentina. Argentina was the one with the most. So this is why this is like in Argentina. So when they got to Argentina, what they would do is they would live there for a small amount of time, and then they would stay there until they would be recruited by NASA. Mm-hmm. And they would end up basically coming up to America from Argentina and then eventually being relocated. So like it's a small place it's a small town in California. I forgot what it's called, but it's full of fucking Germans. And they all like descendants of ex-Nazis or ex-Nazis. Mm-hmm. And that's where they all, you know, so like they all end up relocating to. So yeah, and the one dude that started NASA, Werner von Braun, he is an ex-Nazi. So that's why they would recruit him. Yeah.
Not shocking. I was actually talking to someone about that the other day. We was just talking about how the measures that the American government would take just to either be in charge or to have either science advancement or either, you know what I'm saying, anything in that realm, like the links that they would go. And like they did that back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, where they started taking down former Nazi people who did all these terrible things during the Holocaust, but they brought them here just so they could be ahead of Russia, just so they could be ahead of China and all this type shit. So we would stay a power, so we could be the first people to get the advancements on tech and going to space and all that type shit. And it's just like, is it that serious? And it's like, America feel it is, so they'll go through those measures. Man. Yeah, like that's all it is. So, but I thought that dynamic of the movie is to me that took it to that next level. I think
Mhm.
adding this dynamic to it is what took it to the next level for me
Yeah.
because you could put a script together and it's just like, all right, it's a pretty good script. You got The Rock, you got Ryan Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? You can make the shit work. But I think that the whole dynamic of his dad and then his dad being somehow tied to the Nazis and had this
Mhm.
watch that happened to be a key to open up this door to all of this shit that they ended up bringing back from Germany and they stashed it in Argentina. I thought that was dope. And
Mhm.
also when you would hear, I like that moment when they was in prison together and he was telling the story of the dad and the watch and then how
Yeah.
his dad ended up finding the watch and he had like it wasn't even really a big deal that he
Mhm.
didn't talk to him for a whole year. I thought that you would have to add those little moments into the movie because I think that those are the things that will make you understand Booth better. Because like you don't really get why Booth would go through the links to do some of the things he would do. Like he would get caught on purpose just so he would escape.
Yeah. I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
it's classic character building. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a way to tell you a lot about the character without really having to, you know what I'm saying, give you a 30-minute montage of who this character really is. I mean, I think the same thing happened with Jack. I'm about to say Jack, John Hartley. Just not necessarily in the same way, but him befriending Booth and him manipulating Booth and going through everything that he went through, only to find out that he was basically Gal Gadot's partner this whole time, and you know what I'm saying, like they've had this relationship, and then both of them together are the bishop.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? With them actually showing the scenes where something would happen to them, and then in the end, when they go back and they flashback, and then they will show what really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like all that to me is a great way of character building without actually having to build the character within the storyline. It was, I think, that was a genius way to bring a lot of these characters along. The only one we really didn't get was Gal Gadot because we didn't really see a lot of her. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, and it was really just based on, you know what I'm saying, John Hartley and Nolan Booth. And I thought, you know what I'm saying, the way that their story arcs came together, I thought that was pretty good.
I feel you, and I also feel that I think that they did that to her because her reign, like don't get me wrong, like she carried the two Wonder Woman movies. No matter how you feel about them, she carried them, so we know she could play that main role.
Yeah,
It's just that when it came to this film, like I just really don't think that I don't even think it was necessary for us to even know her background. To be honest with you,
it really
I'm kind
wasn't.
of glad. I'm kind of glad they didn't give
Yeah, it
us
really
her
wasn't.
background because I I'm not trying to kill her here. I just feel that she just didn't. I I honestly just feel that somebody else really could have did this role. It was just a little
Mm-hmm.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you're right about the character building because I think that we had to figure out why Booth was the way he was because it seemed that he was well off, and then he had this ego thing, and it wasn't even really a ego thing to be honest with you. It was more of, I mean, it was an ego thing, but I think that he just wanted to be noticed, and I think
Yeah,
that him feeling insignificant to his dad, I think that he's like, yo, I'm gonna commit these crimes of stealing this great art, but
right.
I'm gonna get caught on purpose because the whole game is it's not the money, it's the fact of me getting caught and then breaking loose and y'all knowing y'all can't hold me. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so funny when your girl said how he was 6 for 6. And now what was funny was she said, I'm gonna send you somewhere where you don't want to be. He said, where, your Instagram account? And I was like, yeah. Hey, I was like, this dude, man, listen, Ryan Reynolds, man, he is becoming a legend out here. Like, I am ready to see this new Deadpool, and hopefully they do it right. I think this time, I think this time around, Deadpool is gonna be a little better because they couldn't use like some of the characters that they wanted to use. especially when it came to the X-Men and shit. I think now it's going to be just a little bit more open. I think the budget is going to go up on it as well because they've seen the success of the first two, but also with the whole merger of Fox and Disney and all of the Sony, all these motherfuckers. So like, I think that the characters are going to be more open in the next one that come out. So I think Deadpool 3 is I think this probably I believe this is going to be the best one to come out. But when you look at this film, what was I was about to say the moment, but what was the scene that turned out to be your favorite scene of this movie?
My favorite scene of this movie was the fight scene in the room with Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds when they was all fighting her and she just started busting their ass. Like, to me, that was the best scene in the movie because once you watch it and you find out what's going on, if you go back and rewatch that scene, you can see everything that they did in that exact scene without having to, you know what I'm saying, see it again. Like, it's one part where she had kicked The Rock, but he already knew, so he had his hand up like this, he block it, and then he fall over. And then when she go to kick Ryan Reynolds, he ain't blocking nothing, so he actually getting kicked. So it looked like The Rock getting kicked, but he ain't. He, you know what I'm saying? You can tell he blocking it. But then, like, when you watch Ryan Reynolds, he really getting kicked. Like, anything that happened to him is really happening to him. Like, with her and The Rock, they pulling punches. So it's like, in one scene, it looked like that they almost dancing. And then when you go to the end and you see that they was actually dancing, you be like, oh, shit. So, like, that's how this whole thing was supposed to go down. So I thought that was one of the best scenes in the movie because of first off, just the choreography of that whole situation. And then when old dude came in there toward the end, you know what I'm saying, to catch him, I thought that was pretty good too.
It's funny you said it. It's funny you said it because that was one of my favorite scenes too. But the part that really stood out to me was like when she had picked up that spear with her foot, and The Rock had busted that glass and got that shit. And that's another thing
that little
that
ass
shows
shield.
You. Yeah, he get a shield. He don't get a weapon. He get a shield.
That's what I'm saying.
See, but then what really got me was Ryan Reynolds.
He tried to elbow that shit, dude, do nothing, bro. His little elbow bounced right up off that thing.
Hey, and then like when he had picked up the spear, right? So like after the whole fight scene, so we getting towards the end of the fight scene, he picked up the spear, and then he looked at it, and then he threw it down, and he squared up with her, and then he took off running. Hey man, this dude is stupid. But I swear to God, this dude is a clown.
That's what I meant to say too. I forgot to add this in what we watched. I finally seen The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I see they put it on Max. I'm about to watch it.
Ryan Reynolds, once again, he does it again, bro. I don't know how, but him and Samuel L. Jackson in this movie are even funnier than in the first one.
Yeah, I seen they put it on Max. I'm gonna check that out sometime this weekend.
And Salma Hayek kills it. That's another one they could have had to do this.
She killed everything.
Yeah, they could have had her do this one.
She could have. Okay. Yeah.
No, trust me. That red dress would have looked a lot better, my boy.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. She would have filled it out real nice.
Yes, indeed.
So, but yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. I just thought it was so funny. Just when he tried to hit that glass, and then you hit a glass, and he hold his elbow. That shit was hilarious. And then like just the whole scene of when they was in the prison, and how he said something about, and then he says cop, but he says it nonchalant. And Hartley's like, "Don't do it. I know what you're doing." He's like, what are you talking about? I'm not doing anything. What do you mean? Like he's like, these guys find out you are a cop. And he was like, guys, everyone here is not a cop. He is not a cop. He was like, he said he does certain detail for the cop, which falls under the police umbrella, but he's not a cop. And I was just like, yo. And then he's like whispering to him. Oh, what did he say? He whispers some shit under his breath. he was like, "Oh," he said, "Dude, you gotta stand up. You're embarrassing me."
Yeah.
Like what? Hey, it's so many like little moments in there. It's just like the shit that he says under his breath. That's just like that. Like when he said something about him being a partner, he was like, "You love me." He was like, "No, I don't." He was like, "You really, really love me, don't you?" And I was like, but you know what though? But that Booth character, he was looking for that. You know what I'm saying? That was something that he was looking for. Like, and then even when he would say, when they was lifting the rocks, he was like, "Teamwork, team, team, team." He said, "Don't even sound right coming out of my mouth."
He said it doesn't even feel good.
Hey, it was just so funny because he didn't want to say teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, man, look, I think they did a really, really good job. I will say this though, they better not play around with not giving me another 6 Underground. So
Yeah.
I don't know the deal that Ryan Reynolds got with Netflix. I don't know if it's like a 4-year deal that they're doing. I don't know if they're 5-year deals.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what 2, right? Because the 6 Underground and this. I think the other shit that he's done wasn't Netflix related, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think, because all you got to do is just look at the movies that are coming out. Like you see a lot of the smaller actors that are being repeat people, but when you talk about the big people, like the bigger names,
Yeah.
it's Ryan Reynolds. It's
you might be right. Yeah, 6 Underground that came out in 2019. And then Red Notice.
Yeah, and they got a deal with Sandra Bullock. I believe they got a deal with Jessica Chastain.
Well, whatever they do with Sandra Bullock, as long as they don't let her do another Gravity movie, we good. Because I watched that too over the weekend, and that
Gravity?
movie didn't do nothing. Yeah, that movie didn't do nothing. It pissed me off.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
How you make it back to the space station and then end up right back outside the space station?
No idea. I thought Gravity was going to be better. I like the visuals.
George Clooney died for no reason, bro.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, he did. But did you see that Unforgiven that he did?
No, I probably stopped watching movies with Sandra Bullock after Gravity.
No, I'm telling
you,
for
that very reason.
No, I'm telling you, dude. You will fuck with Unforgiven. I'm telling you. But you know she did the Bird Box shit and she did that.
Oh yeah, I did watch Bird Box. You're right. I watched Bird Box.
I believe they got a deal with Chris Hemsworth too, because there's going around. It's supposed to, because it's supposed to be an Extraction 2.
Okay.
Did you see the first one? The first Extraction?
I'm not gonna tell you I did. I might have.
It was the first thing he did after being Thor. Like he
then I probably definitely seen it.
He was like this Marine. He was like this Marine ops dude who, you know what I'm saying, was just killing shit, basically.
Oh yeah, I probably seen it. Did you ever see Red Dawn, the Red Dawn remake that had him in it?
Yeah, I didn't.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, because it wasn't.
Yeah,
but I didn't even really fuck with the first Red Dawn like that. But there's like
teenagers killing soldiers, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Like, but the funny thing about Red Dawn though is the backstory of the first one. Yeah. Because it had Patrick Swayze and it had your girl to play Baby and Dirty Dancing.
I don't know. I just know that they were supposed to be teenagers killing
Jennifer
soldiers.
Grey. I think it's Jennifer Grey. Yeah, that. But like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
Now, what was funny? Well, the finish what I was saying. Like, they didn't like each other, like on set or nothing. So then when they came up with the script of Dirty Dancing and they cast these two motherfuckers, they didn't like each other. So they were like beefing and like, but they had to do all these dance scenes and all this type of shit. It was fun. It was the behind
that shit up because that one lift up scene, he could end all that shit.
Man, yeah, because he had a fucked up knee.
No, I'm telling you, he could just lift it up and threw her and then left her, you know what I'm saying, hanging.
And that's another thing, dude. Patrick Swayze almost killed himself off just Dirty Dancing, my guy. This dude, so okay, right? If I got the story correct, I think he tore up his knee first, playing like football in like high school or some shit like that.
Right.
So he had a bad knee. Mm-hmm. So there was one scene in Dirty Dancing where he jumped off the stage. So he kind of re-injured his knee a little bit.
Oh.
But the thing is, my dude, they couldn't get the shot right. So they had him keep jumping. He had to keep jumping off the stage. And then they had to do the lift joint, and then they kept showing him trying to lift her, and he kept like not like dropping her. Like she didn't like hit the ground. She was not fucking fat. That girl was goddamn
too fat.
Man, that girl was fucking not even a buck, man. She was probably 97 pounds, man.
Hey, nah, bro. She was too fat for Patrick Swayze's arms, bro. that's why the lift up was so slow.
Hey, but you said his lift up was slow because that knee fucked up.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, we went off on a tangent there. But the point I was making was like these Netflix deals that they're doing with people, you can kind of tell because you're starting to see a lot of the reoccurring actors in the same thing. So the point of me saying that is I hope that we do end up getting a second Six Underground or however they're gonna name it, because I thought that shit was dope. Like that was the first movie we did on Viewers Anonymous was Six Underground. So hopefully Ryan Reynolds do come back with that.
Speaking of Netflix and a production house, bro, what did you think of Don't Look Up?
Well, we already kind of spoke about that a little bit.
Okay, never mind.
We did. You actually grilled me at the beginning of the top 10 list that we did earlier in the week.
I forgot about the top 10 list. Yeah. So yeah. But as far as this movie though, I love the twist at the end where we found out that Hartley and the bishop actually was like the bishop, and the whole chase. Well, there was a few twists and turns, man. Like even when the bishop had set up, well, now we know that it was a plan, but we didn't know at the time when they went to Booth's house, took the egg, but then the other bishop came and switched the eggs and put the fake egg in there, and then the inspector, she ended up finding out that the egg was fake, and then she looked into Hartley's background and saw that this nigga wasn't even the police.
Yeah, wasn't even the police, and that he got an $8 million payout or whatever. So she ended up arresting him and put him in the same prison as Booth. But the other twist that she had the inspector ended up coming back. I got to give the inspector this. She's pretty good at her damn job. Because her, okay, look at it this way. So she figured out that the egg is fake, right? So she arrests him because she was able to find. Well, the bishop switched the number to where she would get called when she called to check up on him and all this type of shit. So and she saw the $8 million transaction, so she locks him up. All right. So then she happens to be at the party when they're all there at the party, trying to steal the second egg. So then when they find the third egg down in the bunker, who pops up? The inspector, because the inspector followed the bishop. So she happens to always be the same place.
She never followed the bishop, and she never was doing a great job. They was tipping her off to where to go.
But why would they tip her off at the in Argentina? That don't make sense.
Why not?
What do you mean? Why not? You're making your job harder.
No,
to have to deal with the bishop.
Because the plan was to use Booth. Once we found out where the egg was, use Booth. Now he's the prime suspect. Get him caught. We both get it. Slip out. That was always the whole plan.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was always the whole plan. They was using Booth as, you know what I'm saying, basically the, you know what I'm saying, the expendable one. So whenever if they was to get caught, boom, he go to jail, they could slip out. It looked like John Hartley did his job. You know what I'm saying? Then they don't really even know who the bishop is for real anyway, so she really didn't have nothing to do with nothing. She was just tipping them off the whole time.
But how did Booth get the key to unlock himself on the beach?
Oh, that was definitely from one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But they still needed him.
They needed him to escape again? Because that's all he did was escape again.
They needed him because remember, toward the end of it, they was gonna bring him. They basically was doing all that to see if they was gonna bring him in.
But then she ended up showing up to the party, arresting the dude that bought the 3 eggs, the millionaire dude, and all that type shit. Maybe
they tipped her off on that too.
Well,
I'm telling you, she's not really doing a great job. They tipping her off on everything that they doing.
To be able to get these busts, man, sometimes it's just knowing the right people. That's just
at the end of the day, all they care about is their money. They did their part. They got paid. So, you know what I'm saying? Once you get up in there, hey, what can I say?
True. No, I'm not saying. I
might have to steal it for somebody else later on down the line. You never know.
Oh man, but this movie was pretty good, man. I ain't mad at it, man. I ain't mad at it.
You ready to do the Firefly?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
All right, Brody. So, what you got on this one, man?
I'm gonna give this movie, with everything being considered, even though I didn't think Gail was the best selection for this part, but she still did a good job considering. Ryan Reynolds killed it. The Rock, he ended up killing it. I thought that the one dude that he ended up doing a pretty good job. The choker. And it was so funny when they was down and tied up to that pole, and then they turned around and looked at him. It's like, man, why is your shirt off? He's like, yeah,
I didn't understand that part either. That was confusing to me too.
Man, because you gotta think about it. When Booth was explaining dude, and he was saying, Mr. Never Wear My Shirt. He called him that when he was explaining dude. So he ended up doing a good job at that as well.
Yeah.
And I thought the comedy parts was good. I thought that all the little one-liners that Ryan Reynolds was able to come up with was good. Like I said, I love the whole script part of adding the World War II stuff to it. I got to give it a 4.5, man.
Okay. Me personally, I enjoyed the storyline. I thought the twist at the end was great. The story arc was amazing. The character arcs were even better. Like I said, besides Gal Gadot, which I really didn't understand why they really had her in the movie. I still think she did a good enough job to be in it. I just don't think that she necessarily needed to be in it. Ryan Reynolds, as always, did a great job. His sarcasm, his dry humor is always great in movies like these. The Rock did a great job as well. Him always being, you know what I'm saying, the hyper violent character, or the you know what I'm saying, the big clunky bully guy. He did a great job doing that as well. He even had a chance to even show some intelligence in this one, which I thought was rare. So that's actually surprising. The action in this movie was good. The fight scenes were great. I give it a 4.
Okay.
I give it a 4.
I ain't mad at it. We're around the same thing.
Yeah, man. So let's get to coming soon, man.
Yes, sir.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
All right, so coming soon, man. Tuesday, we giving you speaking of The Rock, you know what I'm saying, we giving you his other friend, Kevin Hart, in True Story. This time he's paired up with Wesley Snipes. And it's a whole bunch of hijinks and mischief that goes on in this one. And even though it's titled True Story, it's not really based on Kevin Hart, but it's loosely based around his life. So we'll see how this one, you know what I'm saying, turns out. I got to watch this one. And then we'll see, man. I still ain't watched it yet, so.
Oh, man, you haven't seen it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, man, I thought you have.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one yet. So I'm going to check it out. Now that all the hype done died down around it, I'm going to check it out.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. I think it's. I think you're gonna fuck with it, but I will say this though. There's gonna be a few things we're gonna be like, yo, that's cheesy and that's
Oh yeah,
impossible.
I expect that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be some of that in there as well. So, but
Yeah,
I think that when we, the way that we end up talking about things, I think when we get to the root of some of the shit of the topics that goes along with what True Story is about,
yeah.
I think that's gonna be the vocal point of where we take this movie.
Okay, okay. That sounds like a plan, man. So yeah, Tuesday, you guys get ready. If you would like to leave your Fire Flame ranking, just hit us up on our socials. Hashtag the episode that you're talking about. Give us your Fire Flame ranking from 1 to 5, and then we'll get back with you. We even read it on the next pod. So if you want to get in contact with us, you hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at View9Pod. You can also hit us up on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group. You can follow me at Scoots Bronson on Twitter, on Twitch at twitch.tv/Scoots Bronson. And that's it.
Yeah, y'all can catch me at s.foster8 on Instagram and Twitter, at 28 minutes or less pod on IG, 28 minutes or less on Facebook. New episode alert, man. I just put out JFK Revisited on all major platforms of the 28 minutes or less podcast. So go check that out as well. That's all I got, man. Just ready, man. This is gonna be an exciting year, man. I'm just telling y'all that now. I'm just telling y'all now. This gonna be a good year. So I'm ready to dive in.
Cool, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. And like they said, Hollywood, man, that's a wrap.
Cut.